Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I wanted to go over my September favorites. There is some makeup. There's a lot of lip products this month. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of lip products. And then there are some non-beauty favorites. Thank you for watching, and I would definitely love to know in the comments down below what things you have been loving this September. And remember, it doesn't have to be beauty. It's just whatever has made your month like that much better. I was surprised by this. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Flawless Matte Bronzer. This is shade 1, Fair. Now, I was sure that when I purchased this on Sephora's website, I had ordered shade 2 because I'd seen so many reviews saying that shade 1 was like, it doesn't show up on me. I can't see it. Is this really a bronzer? Is this a setting powder? And I just realized that I was curing those, you know, people who were like, it's not working for me in the back of my mind. So when I got this and I tried it out for the first one, I was kind of like, I don't see it. And then when I actually like used it and again, and I realized it's not that much lighter. It's almost exactly the same level of light as Hula Light, which is one of my favorite bronzers. I realized the tone is slightly different. Hula Light tends to be more neutral. This has a little slight yellow cast to it, but this is a really great shade for me. And I feel like as we get farther on into the cooler months, this is going to be absolutely perfect. I have been using this a lot. I really like this. I think it's really great. And if you're curious whether this would work for you or not, just, you know, for the sake of knowing, in Estee Lauder Double Wear, I wear shade 1N0. In the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear, I wear shade 405. If you happen to use any of the Laura Mercier, I have 2 different types of Laura Mercier foundations, and these are 1N1, like the lightest shade they have. And usually I'm either the lightest, like in the Laura Mercier, or one step away from light. Like in the Lancome, they have shade 090 Ivoire, and then they have shade 100. I'm shade 100. And I feel like this works really well for me. Something else that I fell in love with this month is the new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked Mini. I remember when this came out in their 6-pan holiday, I think it was like 2018, and I didn't get it, and I kind of like regretted it. And then last year for 2019, they brought it out in their limited edition Ghost Edit packaging, which was kind of like the clear bottom with the mirrored silver front. And I didn't get it again because I'd already got the other 6-pan palette. I was like, I'm not gonna spend another $80 on Hourglass. And so this year when I realized this quad was giving me like the blush I really wanted to try, the bronzer I really wanted to try, the highlight I really wanted to try, and a finishing powder that I thought would really work for me. This is called Soft Light. It does work. It's darker than my favorite, which is Diffuse Light. Diffuse Light is like out of perfection on my skin, and I do feel like I get just a little peachier, slightly more golden dark tone. Not dark, but enough that I can tell it's not what I would normally set my face with, but it works beautifully. Now, the best part about this is just the finish on the skin. I'm 45, and certain powders can look heavy. Certain powders can really accentuate like some of the crow's feet and the fine lines I have going on here. And I have like maybe 2 or 3 powders that I trust my under eye area with. The ambient lighting powders are one of those. The veil setting powder, like there's a real short list. And I love that here I have, you know, setting powder, bronzer, blush, highlight, and I can do my whole face with just one palette. And I'm glad to finally have, you know, kind of like the unlocked palette, but the mini version. Beautiful. I am still totally loving this L'Oreal Radiant Concealer. This is the Age Perfect. I don't know if you can see, but I'm starting to like use enough of it that I'm starting to see like, oh look, I've used from here to here. It's definitely showing the fact that I actually make headway on a concealer. That says a lot. Another concealer that I have been kind of rediscovering this month and that I love so much is the one from Bare Minerals. This is their Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. I love this so much. I use the lightest shade Fair here. I use the lightest shade 200 here. And many days throughout September, I really have been wearing a lot of foundation, mostly just concealer here, corners of my nose. I have some post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation from acne here, my sunspot here, and then I just blend it in and then powder and go. But this has been really good. I did get a new one of these. during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, because if I like look straight down the barrel, I can see like to the bottom. And I'm also seeing like little tiny marks on the side where I've been kind of like swirling this in here, like I need to get it all. It's definitely almost completely gone. So I'm glad I got another one of these, but those have been like, instead of foundation, just concealer and just where I need it. So I've gone on and on for years about my love for the legendary brows from Charlotte Tilbury. This is still my favorite fiber brow product. And I fell in love hard. The first time I tried this, I was like, what? It's so easy. So this is the Anastasia brow pen. I have the shade medium brown. Now the reason I'm talking about both of these, this is new and mwah, beautiful, chef's kiss. But what's been great is that I find that on days when I kind of want to get a quick brow down, a little concealer, and I use this to back comb my brows, just kind of like this to lay down the fibers, and then I'll go through and lay them down perfectly. And then where I have like little holes, I'll use this. The reason I started doing that is because I was worried I was gonna just like run through this pen, because I was spending like 10 minutes per eyebrow, like getting every single hair I wished I'd had in my brows. It did look a little heavy in the end, but the great thing about this is you can just take a spoolie to it, just like a regular spoolie, and spoolie through if you're using just this. I find it gets a little goopy if I have like this in and then I add this and then I try and spoolie them, then if you're using just this, you can spoolie super easy. I find that it doesn't really disturb the ability for the product to stay where you put it, and it softens the look, but you still get longevity out of it. So this is a beautiful kind of like mercurial product. You can spoolie it, it still lasts all day, gives you the look of brows. If you push too hard and you get too much, you can either tap it out or spoolie it. I really like this, but I love it together with this. It gives me like 1 minute brows, 30 seconds to brush this through, and then another 30 seconds to put exactly like maybe 5 or 6 hairs in where I have like real severe gaps in my brows. But together they make the perfect brow pair for me, where I still get that kind of fluffy look, but no gaps, down to just lippies. Now I did do a entire video on the Sephora Give Me More lip kit. I will link it here for you, but there were some gems. Some total gems in there. Now I've been using all but 2 lippies out of there like since I got it. And like little baby angels are singing. This is the Ilia Tinted Lip Conditioner in Arabian Nights. I love this. I had to pull it out of my purse. This is what it looks like. It's the most beautiful sheer red. Now, I have another long time love of a sheer red lipstick in Lipstick Queen's Medieval. There's a difference. Between the two, this one tends to be a little bit more pigmented and a little bit more berry in tone. It's still a red, but it's kind of like a cooler berry red. I love this lipstick. The one thing I will tell you is the Medieval doesn't tend to emphasize any dryness or lines in my lips. I haven't had this for, I don't know, at least 5 years, and now, now that I'm solidly in my mid-40s, trying this on, if I don't have my lips well hydrated, if I have any like dryness, this does kind of catch on to those flaky spots. So exfoliate like you should with, all the time with any lip product. But I feel like there are some products that are more forgiving. If you put them on without having exfoliated your lips, they can kind of hydrate and it doesn't look kind of like a mess. This will definitely accentuate that, but I love the shade. It's really, really comfortable. Another lipstick, the one that I'm wearing today, is this one from NARS. This is the shade, I don't know, it's French, Tolede. I don't know, I don't speak French. It's probably terribly, terribly wrong. I did look it up online, but that's what she looks like. Beautiful, kind of a pinky nude. It goes beautifully with my favorite Wayne Goss lip liner in mauve. I love this. Both of these have like taken pride of place in my purse. Like if I'm gonna be out grocery shopping or I'm gonna be running some errands and I need something for my lips, those two have been the ones. So the lipsticks that I wear mostly here around the house, because nothing like a bold lipstick to make me feel like I can accomplish anything. And in the year 2020, we need to feel like all the good and happy that we can. this. There was a mini. This is the mini that I didn't get into because I had the full size. I'm going to give this to a friend. But this is the Rouge Pur Couture shade number 1. This lipstick is the most beautiful, sexy glossy red. I live. This has been the best. But I don't wear this on the days that I know I'm leaving because it's a creamy lipstick, it's slightly shiny, it's a bold color, and if I put a mask on, you know, your mask kind of, like, as you talk and you move, like, your mask kind of goes up and down when you're talking. I did make the mistake once, not this shade, but a shade similar to this, and I had, like, red outside of my lip line and, like, down here, and then, you know, there was a little bit on the, it was not good. So I see why liquid lipsticks exist. My lips don't get along with them. So that's when I wear something sheer that's not going to be hard to clean up. But around the house, when I wear this, I feel like fierce and like I can accomplish anything. It's like my pulling myself up by the bootstraps, like we're going to get this done today. This is my Power Red. Another one that I really liked is the one from Hourglass. This is shade 402, and it's definitely more of an orangey red. This is, it looks so similar. Oh, there you go. You can definitely see it's more of an orangey red here. I love a kind of like a hot orange red. This one is fantastic. I really like the formula. It's not quite like a matte. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution or the True Velvets from Lisa Eldridge are more matte in appearance, but it's not shiny. It feels kind of like, I don't know, is a demi-matte? Does that make sense? I feel like certain companies have changed the playing field for what qualifies as a matte lipstick. It's not shiny, but it's gorgeous, and I love. Now, the other two lipsticks that the set from Hourglass. This is the Sculpture collection for holiday. So good. This shade here is at Dusk. It's very berry, I think it's like described as a cranberry. Oh yes, oh yes. And this shade here is at Dawn. Now, they describe this as a rose, and I can kind of see that. Mostly it's like a pinky nude to me, and a beautiful one. I love it so much. So these have been the lipsticks I've been reaching for throughout this month. These only came like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, but they've been in constant rotation, and I did pick up the Sephora kit at the beginning of the month, and I've been loving it so much. Non-lipstick faves, I have been loving the soap from Missouri River Soap. This bar especially, okay, let me just show you. The bars start out looking like this. This one's been in my shower all month long. This one here is called Fruity Loops, and it smells literally like Fruit Loops. This one here, I think this is Polka Dot Paradise. Look at this. It's just the coolest soaps. I love these so much. They're handmade. I will link Missouri River Soap's website in the description box down below, as well as their YouTube channel. And I mentioned a couple of months ago that it was really, you know, after being really stressed about what's been going on during the summer, leading up to my surgery, and then after that, I was finding a lot of peace in watching soap tutorials, and I bought this soap when they released it, I think July or no, early August. And August and September, I had been using this. My husband is like, what is that yummy smelling black soap? And we've been loving this. And one bar, it takes a while to get through one bar, but this one's going back in my shower. Love. So this summer, I realized I'd been drinking too many sugary drinks. And so I kind of committed to more water. And I do drink a lot of just plain water out of my water bottle, but I also love like a low calorie Crystal Light type product. And I was buying Crystal Light for a long time throughout the summer, and then I realized there was a huge price difference between name brand and store brand. And I came across this, and I like this flavor the best out of all the ones that I've tried. And it's great value, which means it's the Walmart brand, but this is their strawberry watermelon. I really like it. Like, I really like it. And I've been drinking this a lot this summer. It's, you know, what, 5 calories? For a serving, it's really not a lot. It's really kind of like, are you really drinking any calories, or are you burning those calories by sipping it through a straw? I don't know. I've been loving this a lot. The flavor is fantastic. and I think it's really great. Another thing that I've been loving, remember last month I told you about those chocolate pretzel pieces from Imperfect Foods? I found a new Imperfect Food snack. Again, it's chocolate related, but it's these guys here. These are the Hatch Chili Chocolate Peanut Candies. This bag is sealed, but these little peanuts here are kind of like an elevated M&M. So it's a peanut, they're dusted in Hatch chili powder, and then they're covered in chocolate and then covered in this candy shell. And let me read you what it says in the back. The factory that made these Hatch chili chocolate peanuts produced a few too many. Imperfect Foods stepped in to ensure that these addictive, perfectly sized mouthfuls of slightly spicy goodness found their way into your box. They're the perfect pick-me-up for whenever the mood strikes. And I was like, yes! Imperfect Foods is a company that specializes in reducing food waste. So the items that there may be too many of and grocery stores can't sell, things that are slightly, like if you have a product like this and the barcode or, you know, it's imperfectly coded on the label, they'll do that. Sometimes it's, you know, maybe the lemons are scarred or the avocados are really small. Maybe they're really big. That's what they do. They take the produce and the food item that there either is a surplus of or that grocery stores just won't sell because maybe the carrot is like slightly twisted. Things that are not perfect for the grocery store perfect. I'm like, hey, food is food. And so those sorts of things don't bother me. And I love that I can get like a huge box of produce, sometimes 2 huge boxes of vegetables, of fruit, of cheeses, meat, delicious snacks for like $60 delivered to my door. So I really like Imperfect Foods. They also help to lower CO2 emissions and save water. Like that, their whole goal is let's not throw away food. And I think that's a beautiful mission. But beyond the beautiful mission, delicious snacks. Oh, so very good. I did have some fails this month. 2 of them were pretty obvious when I was doing the Sephora Give Me More lip, like the try-on reviews. These 2 liquid lipsticks, I already had one of these Kat Von D. The crazy thing is, the one that came in the box was still labeled Kat Von D, even though Kat Von D is supposed to be KVD Vegan Beauty. It still says Kat Von D on here, but I think the lipstick color is great. I think the longevity is great. My 45-year-old lips can't handle something this dry. Same is true for this. Now, this is the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint, and this is in the shade Unbuttoned. I love the packaging. I think that it's a really interesting color. I did try a couple times to try and mix it with other things. I just don't care for it. Now, this is basically my lip preferences, formula preferences, and what I prefer color-wise on my face. I'm not saying it's a bad product. I'm just saying I'm not going to use it. These are 2 things that I'm definitely not going to use and were fails for me this month. Another fail this month, I don't even feel like I gave it a real fair shake, was this lip liner from Lipstick Queen in the shade Medieval. So earlier I mentioned how Medieval, this sheer red lipstick, is my favorite sheer red ever, and looks like that. It is like the best sheer red if you're afraid of red lipstick. It's a great way to dip your toe into the red lipstick pool. I love this. It builds up beautifully. It never looks like too much. And I was hoping, because this had the same name, that this would, and I don't know, I guess the idea of a sheer lipstick is to be sheer. The idea of a lip liner is to line your lips. So it has to be more pigmented. But I was hoping for like a really soft, ethereal lip liner. This is just a straight pinky red. And I think that wearing these 2 together would really only work if you were to fill your whole lips in, because if you were to line them this way and, you know, just use just that on the inside, it's not really the look I'm going for. The formula is fine. I just had hopes that it would be more like this. And I don't know how I thought a lip liner was going to be sheer and gorgeous and whatever. That's maybe my expectations didn't live up to the reality. I'm sure the formula is great. I just have been so like, I just haven't even wanted to use it. And that's stupid and sad, but true. Now, this may be an unpopular opinion, but the lifter glosses from Maybelline, this was a fail for me. Here is why. My biggest pet peeve with any gloss is when you put on the gloss and it starts to collect kind of like on that inside, like from when your lip goes from being dry to being wet, that line, and then kind of collecting in the corners, and it strings and it pulls. And that makes me So frustrated. That's the one thing I never want a gloss to do. Now, this won't do that if you put on like the sheerest, you know, thinnest, barely there layer, but that's not how I wear gloss. Like, I put on gloss. Let's put some of this on. I have the shade Reef. I think it's a really pretty shade. I think it smells amazing. I like the giant doe foot applicator of this, but after a while, I can already see it doing it, where it's kind of starting to collect in the corners, and in about 5 minutes of talking, it's going to start to string and pull. I don't know. That's like somebody clipping their toenails in public. I just can't. And that's a me thing. So it's not that this isn't a good gloss. It just does the one thing I never want a gloss to do. Is it beautiful? Yes. Does it feel nice? Yes. Does it smell amazing? Check, check, check. Like all of those things. But I just can't even, I won't even keep looking because I know it's going to do it. And that's the one, like that's the cardinal sin. You do that, I'm done with you. So if that's a big thing for you, just be aware that I find this formula to do that. Maybe it's just the shade Reef. I don't know. I was really hoping it was going to be like the answer to all of my more expensive Fenty lip gloss desires. I still would rather pay the $18 for the Fenty lip gloss, or I think $16, $18 for the Wayne Goss lip glosses. I feel like there's so many other really great lip glosses that I don't have to put up with what is like my big cardinal sin. You do that and that's it, you're off the list. So there you go. Favorites and fails. I'd love to know what your favorites were for the month of September. Remember, it doesn't have to be makeup. It can be food. It can be a beverage. It could be, you know, a new pair of shoes that you bought. Let me know what your favorite things were for this month. Also, let me know if something you tried, you really were hoping, like high hopes for, and it didn't work out for you. I definitely always want to hear about those as well. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for being subscribed. Have an amazing day. And I will see you again soon. Bye.